still now we see biotechnology in a very smaller role in our society. বুঝতেছেন কারণ তো অনেক বেবি স্টেজে ছিল। So what inspired you? Like what made you take that risk যে আমি করব বায়োটেকনোলজি নিয়ে?
My sister says আমি শুধু বাতাস খাই, but তাও আমি মোটা হয়ে যাই। See, like আমরা Chittagonian people mostly we are more interested to Nesbahan,
খাওয়া দাওয়া অনেক।
we are foodie. একটু এদিক থেকে ওদিক হলেই you will have diabetes.
Oh, you'll be closing a lot of businesses also.
Yes.
অনেক business বন্ধ হয়ে যাবে।
If you're not good in English, how do you attract customers from US or England or Australia? আপনার আমেরিকান অ্যাকসেন্ট বা ব্রিটিশ অ্যাকসেন্ট থাকতেই হবে এমন কোনো কথা নেই। আপনি আপনার অ্যাকসেন্ট দিয়ে কথা বলেন, বাট শুদ্ধ ইংরেজিতে কথা বলেন, শুদ্ধ pronunciation. That's the best thing.
Hi everyone, welcome back to our second episode of VOG. Today we have one of the most inspiring person in Chittagong and I think the whole Bangladesh. He is with us, Dr. Mannan, and he is one of the distinguished faculty at the University of Chittagong. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for inviting me.
Okay, can you tell us about your journey from being an undergraduate student in biotechnology and biochemistry at USTC to your current role today as a faculty member of the premier university of Bangladesh, the University of Chittagong?
Thank you. Basically, I always wanted to be a scientist. My father is a physician, and my father always wanted me to do research. I mean, in medical science, but he never wanted me to be a doctor.
Wow.
Because he thinks that we have lots of doctors in our family. So after I was outside Bangladesh during my childhood. Then I studied in Little School, then Chittagong Government High School, then I studied in Chittagong College. So after that, I got admitted to Computer Science and Engineering in Dhaka University, but at some point, I found that that's not my world. That's not my cup of tea. I mostly like biology and genetics. So then, and also there were some issues. So I moved to Chittagong. I got admitted to University of Science and Technology in Biotechnology and Biochemistry, and that was the first time it was introduced in private university
In Chittagong.
in Chittagong and Bangladesh as well.
Okay.
So I started my journey from there. Then I did graduation, and after graduation, immediately after graduation, I was actually getting prepared to go to England because from my childhood, I had a dream that I'd go to England for my post-graduation. So maybe that's a colonial,
Mindset.
So then by that time, I got a job in Independent University of Bangladesh. So I joined there as a junior lecturer.
So you traveled to UK?
Yes, then I went to England. Then I did a master's over there, master's in biotechnology and molecular biology. I was in Yorkshire. I did master's in University of Hull.
Did your dream come true?
Yeah, that's obviously that was dream come true. So I got international student scholarships. So then I went there. And then I completed my master's. I worked in NHS, National Health Service in England, for a couple of months. And then I came back to Chittagong because I had a dream to be a teacher. Because since my childhood, I have been involved in lots of cultural organizations and extracurricular activities. And one of my most common identities, I'm a debater. I'm a public speaker. So I love to talk.
That's
So that's why I love to teach people. And I used to teach a lot of students when I was a student of college and university. So then I came back and I joined in the University of Chittagong in the Department of Genetic Engineering and Biotechnology. So then I, after teaching there for around 2.5 years to 3 years, I moved to Australia for doing PhD. I got Australian Postgraduate Award and International Postgraduate Research Scholarship. Then I went to 𝐀𝐝𝐧𝐚𝐧 University, Australia. There I did PhD in biological sciences and pharmacology.
But you were still in University of Chittagong.
Yeah. So I took leave actually to study. So I did PhD from there. After PhD, I got a chance to work in the Department of Health, Western Australia. I worked there. Then I got a chance to work in the University of Western Australia. I did research in that place, and then after like around 6 years, I came back to Bangladesh. Again, I joined back in Chittagong University. They hired you immediately. I will continue. In the meantime, before COVID and after COVID, I went to US because I got two fellowships. So one was in Oregon State University. So I in 2019 I stayed there for my research fellowship, sort of postdoctoral fellowship, and then in 2023 I went to George Washington University. I worked there as a research fellow and then as an adjunct faculty member of biomedical sciences and computational biology. Hey guys, that's an academic record I might not have a track of. That's a huge list. Mashallah, that's a huge inspiration. Okay, so আমার মনে হচ্ছে বায়োটেকনোলজি এমন একটা সাবজেক্ট এটা মানুষরা এখনো কিন্তু ছোট করে দেখে। You know, imagine your age. Like, how many years would you say? When you started your studies in biotechnology? That's 2001. Yeah, so still now we see biotechnology in a very smaller role in our society. That time তখনও কিন্তু তখন তো বুঝতেছেন তখন তো অনেক বেবি স্টেজে ছিল। So what inspired you? Like what made you take that risk যে আমি করব biotechnology নিয়ে? That's a long story because ছোটবেলা থেকে I used to see যে আমার বাবার কাছে অনেক পেশেন্ট আসতো যাদের হচ্ছে my father said there's no answer. There's no answer because এটা genetic. এটা ডিএনএ সো বাংলাদেশে তো এটা টেস্ট হবে না। এটা ক্যান্সার বাট ডিটেল জানি না। It's like because we didn't have sequencing, we didn't have any facility for understanding the gene, genomics, or the protein or bioinformatics. So in some cases, doctors got confused. Like proper diagnosis নাই অনেক ক্ষেত্রে যেগুলো genetic. I mean, like whatever bacteria are exactly them, and lots of infection reason কেউ জানতো না। So কিভাবে ইনফেকশন আসছে বিকজ এটা রুট জানতে হলে তো আমার জিনোম সম্পর্কে জানতে হবে and then I can go for the source or the stimulate of other bacteria কোথা থেকে এটা আসছে। So তখন থেকে আমার একটা ইন্টারেস্ট ছিল যে ওকে হোয়াটস দ্য রিজন বিহাইন্ড দ্যাট, কোন জিনিসটা আমাদের নাই যেটার কারণে আমরা এটা ডায়াগনোসিস এটা ট্রিটমেন্ট কিছুই সম্ভব হচ্ছে না। দ্যাট ইজ ডিএনএ, দ্যাট ইজ জিন। সো মাই ফাদার লাইক আমাদের ঘরে একটা ট্র্যাডিশন হচ্ছে we all of us take dinner together. So like when my father comes back from chamber, তো আমার বাবা চেম্বার থেকে আসার পর রাত্রে আমরা 10টা-11টার সময় ডিনার করি। So what happens যে my father used to tell all the stories of the patients, like not not exposing his identity, but like ও বলতো আজকে একজন পেশেন্ট আসছে ক্যান্সার মনে হচ্ছে কিন্তু ওর কোনো ডায়াগনোসিস এখানে করা যাচ্ছে না। সো তখন বলতো যে মানে এটা নিয়ে পড়াশোনা করা হচ্ছে জেনেটিক্স, ডিএনএ জেনেটিক্স এগুলো নিয়ে তো আমাদের দেশে কিছু নেই। সো that's how I got interested. I should know. So যখন আপনি 2001 এর মধ্যে বায়োটেকনোলজি দিয়ে লেখাপড়া শুরু করছেন তখন how many students were there? Oh, 8 students. That's it? Yes. Oh my God. Okay, so I want to ask you a question based on that. So right now, 2024, post-COVID, students are কেমন এখন biotechnology? তাদের ধারণা কেমন? It's amazing because Chittagong University every year admission test like nearly 1 million, like 4 to 5 lakhs. So what happened? Out of say like out of 0.2 million, maybe 2,000 students get chance in Chittagong University, and most of their top choice is genetic engineering and biotechnology. Wow! And the top 100 students. You have to be in the top 100. Then you get a chance to study biotechnology. That's popular and that's demanding and that's tough. So that's a factor. Take a top choice of the students, like other than computer science and engineering and pharmacy. But Dr. Lenusi, I'm very happy to know your statistics. But আমার মনে হচ্ছে যে if more universities
similar to Chattogram University, like private universities would have such courses.
Yes, they have. USTC, earlier they used to have maybe 50 to 100 applicants in the admission test for biotechnology.
Okay.
But now, like, they used to have a classroom size of 15 students back in 2010, 2011. I was a teacher for a couple of months there. That time they had a class size of 15 to 20 students back in 2010. Now, due to huge pressure, they have to increase the class size. 100 is the class size, and now they are taking 200 students because এখন nearly 1,000 students ওখানে apply করে, at least
Wow.
500 for starting biotechnology.
Immediately after the HSC.
HSC and A levels.
Acha.
So that's good. A lot of students are
Showing
interested
interest.
in biotechnology and biochemistry.
That's so great to know. So, one
Same
question.
thing is has been observed in Brack University and North South.
They have biotechnology.
Yes, they have biotechnology and they got very good response.
Mashallah, that's very good. আপনার অনেক বছর ধরে রিসার্চ করে আসতেছেন। Can you tell us some of the things about your research? What are the key findings have you done? I mean, if you look at your LinkedIn, that's a lot of things.
I'm interested to understand the genetic basis of non-communicable disease. That's number one aim. My interest is mostly on diabetes.
Non-communicable মানে কি?
Non-communicable হচ্ছে সেটা যেটা একজন থেকে আরেকজন স্প্রেড ডিরেক্টলি করে না।
আচ্ছা।
Like I touch you,
Yeah.
but you are not getting infected. It's like
আচ্ছা।
আমাদের কিছু ডিজিজ আছে যেগুলো হচ্ছে ব্যাকটেরিয়া বর্ন or ভাইরাস বর্ন, like COVID.
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ।
আমার কোভিড হচ্ছে you cannot stay in front of me.
Of course.
Well, you can stay if you have the mask, but
Yeah.
like as just in the normal state, you cannot stay. But even like আমি পানি খাচ্ছি, আমার
হ্যাঁ।
কিন্তু পানি থেকেও ইনফেকশন হতে পারে।
হ্যাঁ।
খাবার খাচ্ছি সেখান থেকে হতে পারে।
আচ্ছা।
আমি কাউকে টাচ করলে ওখান থেকে ইনফেকশন হতে পারে। সেগুলো হচ্ছে infectious and communicable disease.
Yeah.
So it's mostly it is pathogen, bacteria or virus borne
Through a source.
through a source.
আচ্ছা।
But এটা খুব ডিরেক্টলি একজন থেকে আরেকজনে যেতে পারে। But non-communicable disease হচ্ছে it's not about human to human. এটা আমার থেকে আপনার কাছে আমি টাচ করলে বা আমার খাবার দিয়ে যাচ্ছে না। It's more like lifestyle or environment or genetics. মানে that those are the risk factors for that. যেমন diabetes. If I touch you, you won't have the diabetes.
Of course.
But if I have the allergy, if I touch you, you'll get allergy. So hypertension, high blood pressure, it's not communicable.
But it's still a disease.
It's still a disease. Obesity. Like obesity, it's completely up to me whether I'll be obese or not.
Yeah.
It's not up to you that because of you I'm obese.
Yeah.
Right?
True.
So these are like non-communicable diseases. And unfortunately and interestingly, these three non-communicable diseases are severe in Bangladesh at the moment. So at the moment we have nearly 2 crore diabetes patients in Bangladesh. আমাদের 1.5 কোটির বেশি diabetes patient আছে বাংলাদেশে।
1.5 কোটি।
এবং বলা হয় 1 in every 11 person is a diabetes patient
in Bangladesh.
প্রতি 11 জনে একজন diabetes patient. So the problem is half of the diabetes patients are still undiagnosed. They don't know that they have diabetes. জানেও না. And the second thing is, we actually don't know how diabetes is spreading. That maybe some of the genes are responsible for that. You might have that specific change in that gene, and then you get diabetic. So how it happens? Maybe from your parents, you get that genetic change, hereditary, or maybe because of the influence of food, environment, or your lifestyle, or pollution, your genetic makeup is being changed.
That is so nice to know.
So what happens? You get diabetes. So what we are trying to understand and trying to know that what sort of changes are actually leading you to have diabetes. And যদি আমরা সেই genetic change গুলো জানি, লাভটা কি হবে? সেটা হচ্ছে usually people get diabetes after 40 years. Before that we can have, but that's very rare. We have juvenile diabetes, type 1 diabetes, like that can happen in the earlier stage of the life. Gestational diabetes. But like after 40 years, that's mostly that's a common. But like if I know that these are the genetic changes which lead to diabetes, Then, in your early childhood, you can have a diagnostic test, genetic test. You go to doctor or you go to diagnostic center. You come to us. We do PCR, and we say you have this diabetes. You have this genetic change. So you have a high risk of having diabetes after the age of 40. So, what's the benefit? Benefit is you can avoid diabetes.
Yeah.
How? From that point of your life, like maybe at that time you are a 16 years old kid, you start correcting your lifestyle. You start on avoiding burger. Start you sleep properly. You start avoiding carbs. You start you do more physical activities. So because you know that একটু এদিক থেকে ওদিক হলেই you will have diabetes.
Oh, you'll be closing a lot of businesses also.
So yes.
অনেক business বন্ধ হয়ে যাবে।
আমার অনেক business শুরু হবে। New diagnostic
New
method
diagnostic,
tools.
yeah.
So, and the second thing is for obesity, a lot of people say that মানে আমাদের research বলছে there is a high chance of having relationship between some genetic changes and with obesity. You see, a lot of people they don't eat, but they still get weight. My sister says আমি শুধু বাতাস খাই, but তাও আমি মোটা হয়ে যাই. See, like she doesn't. I see her. She doesn't eat any oily food, any high lipid food, or she avoids carb. She avoids carbohydrate. She ভাতও খায় না. Then still she's getting weight. So it might be some genetic changes.
Hormones.
So hormones as well. So if we Australians and Americans are saying that তিনটা জিনে যদি চেঞ্জ থাকে তাহলে তাদের ওবিস হতে পারে, এন্ড এটার ফলে লাভ কি ওই তিনটা জেনেটিক চেঞ্জ থাকলে তারা যদি তাদের ফুড হ্যাবিট মডিফাই করে তাহলে তারা ওবিসিটিকে অ্যাভয়েড করতে পারবে। সো দ্য মানে সলিউশন ইজ আমাদের যদি এই তিনটা জেনেটিক সমস্যা থাকে তাহলে আমি জাস্ট খাবার কমাই দিই আর হাঁটলেই শুকাবো না, আমাকে অন্যরকম লাইফস্টাইল মডিফাই করতে হবে। সো হোয়াট উই ওয়ান্ট টু চেক আমাদের বাংলাদেশি পিপলে এই ধরনের জেনেটিক চেঞ্জেস আছে কিনা এবং সেটার জন্য ডক্টরসরা কি নতুন কিছু প্রেসক্রাইব করতে পারে কিনা, যে এই ফুড গুলো অ্যাভয়েড করবে, এই ফুড গুলো খাবে। সো understanding the basis of genetic basis of obesity or being overweight, and then coming up with a solution, and then also coming up with a diagnostic test. So it at the target. And the second thing is knowing the genetics of infectious diseases. We are having a lot of pneumonia, COVID, dengue. So what we do, a lot of whole genome sequencing, lot of genetic analysis, and then in future it might be helpful for developing vaccine.
Wow, that's great to know.
Because if you don't do,
We had a very fast vaccine rollout for COVID.
Right?
Very
It's
fast.
because of whole genome sequencing.
Whole genome.
Because now genome sequencing is available, cheaper, rapid, and it's we have lots of expert people.
Yeah.
So that's why now it's easier to develop vaccine.
Yeah, that's great to know. I will shift from your key findings to something about your education and where you have studied. Three major countries you have studied. One is Australia, UK, and US. You opted for English-speaking countries, even though there are non-native speaking countries like Japan and Singapore. That also is a very huge hub for biotechnology. Why have you opted for English?
countries? Yeah, that's a very interesting question. My first purpose was to go somewhere else where I would feel comfortable. So আমি কমফোর্টেবল কোথায় ফিল করবো, ইদার বাংলায় কথা বললে, or চাটগাঁয়া কথা বললে, or ইংলিশে কথা বললে। হ্যাঁ, because these three languages are very close to my heart, or sort of my native language. Oh, Bangla is my native language. I'm not a native English speaker, but still I'm very attached to English. So
That's an emotion.
yeah. So what happens if I go to Japan? Everything is in Japanese language. Yes, Japan is English friendly, but still, their mother language is Japanese.
Yeah.
If I go to Singapore, everything is in English, but still, they have their own language.
They have their accent.
Accent as well. Other China is like
Yeah.
everything is in Chinese.
Yeah.
So since my childhood, I had a dream that I'd go to English-speaking countries. And another thing is, these countries are mostly leading the world in terms of science and technology.
Yeah.
So there is three different aspects. First thing is you feel comfortable when you go to an English-speaking country. You understand everything. You can communicate easily. You can understand their language, and also it's very easy to cope up with that environment. And number two is most of the English-speaking countries are actually leading the world.
Yeah.
US, England, Australia, like they're not
Canada.
the top. Canada,
Yeah.
they're not the top, but they're leading.
Of course.
At some point, they're the leaders.
In terms of research
Yes.
and publication.
Other than Japan, they're the leaders. Japan and China.
Yeah.
These three countries are the leaders. So I felt that I should go. I mean, I should aim for these countries. And number three is it's easy to process visa in these countries. I'm not saying it's very easy, but I'm saying it's easy because I understand their websites, I understand their visa processing, and a lot of students are there, a lot of researchers and professionals are staying in these three countries. So when I apply for visa, when I think about getting settled or think about settlement, it's easy because a lot of Bangladeshis are there of these countries. I'm not saying that Japan, it's not easy, it's tough, but Japan is strict. Singapore is strict.
Stringent, very stringent. Yeah.
So,
okay, sir, I want to talk to you about you are leading a lot of, entrepreneurship level. For example, you're also a director of operations at the Network of Young Biotechnologists of Bangladesh. So, what initiative that you have done that you're very proud of?
well, we mostly work with the students and undergraduate students and young people. So, Network of Young Biotechnologists of Bangladesh, we established it like 20 years ago. So, our main aim was to create a network between all the biotechnology students of Bangladesh. A student who is studying in Dhaka, he or she will know the student of Chittagong, and the student of Chittagong, he or she will know the student of Sylhet, Khulna, or Rajshahi. So, they will have a network. So, what will happen? আমি যখন একটা বিগ নেটওয়ার্কের পার্ট হবো আই নেভার ফিল অ্যালোন বড় নেটওয়ার্ক থাকলে কি হবে আই ক্যান অ্যারেঞ্জ বিগ ইভেন্টস আই উইল হ্যাভ লটস অফ লজিস্টিক্স সো ফার্স্ট
Seminars.
First thing is creating a network so that we all know each other. It's very important in nowadays. Second thing is biotechnology student skill development because university sometimes it's not possible for the university possible for the students to arrange some workshop, training, or seminar. There are lots of formalities in the university. But other than the university, outside the university, if you have an independent platform, you can organize a lot of skill development things. So,
talking about skill development, I think you're also a moderator of the Chittagong University Research and Higher Studies Society. It's still there?
Yes.
Okay, so
it's one of the top
can you
most
tell us something
organizations
about it?
Yeah, Chittagong University Research and Higher Studies Society is a very popular and very prominent organization of Chittagong University, and they're very one of the prestigious organizations of Chittagong University. Basically, this organization is working to create awareness regarding research work among students because we need research. If you don't do research, you don't have innovation. We don't have any innovation from Bangladesh. We have very few innovations actually.
একটাও বলতে গেলে অনেক কম
and from Chittagong, zero.
Oh my
There's
God.
nothing. So you need innovators.
হ্যাঁ of course
Innovation করতে হলে কি করতে হবে? Research করতে হবে। আর আমরা Chittagonian people mostly we are more interested to Nesbahan,
খাওয়া দাওয়া অনেক
we are foodie. But like
you're proud of it,
lots, yes, we're proud of it. But there are lots of genius in Chittagong. We are not utilizing them properly.
But some of our geniuses but entrepreneurship হয়ে যাচ্ছে business চালাচ্ছে
there. So we need more researchers, more innovations. We can solve the problems by doing research. During dengue, why it was so wide and like why did it spread so fast in Chittagong? আমরা যদি আগে রিসার্চ করতাম যে কোন কোন এরিয়াগুলোতে ডেঙ্গি বেশি হয় আগের বছর ডেঙ্গি থেকে আমরা স্টাডি করে বের করতাম নেক্সট ইয়ার রেইনি সিজন আসার আগে যেমন এই বছর এই যে বৃষ্টি শুরু হয়ে গেল এর আগে যদি আমরা একটা 1 মান্থের একটা লং একটা অ্যাকশনে যেতাম যে নো ওয়াটার লস কোনো পানি জমে থাকতে পারবে না এই এরিয়াগুলোতে পানি জমে না থাকলে কি হবে এডিস মশা ডিম পারবে তাহলে কি হবে ডেঙ্গি স্প্রেড করবে So that's the place where those dengue virus spread. So if we have a research project, if we could understand those, we could solve our problems.
Of course.
So Chittagong University Research and Higher Studies Society is actually training the students how to do research, how to publish research articles, how to come up with new ideas. Number one, and number two is they are providing guidelines for applying to our overseas countries like US, England, Europe, Japan, Australia, Malaysia.
Also, you are promoting.
We train students how to write SOP.
Yeah.
We train students how to develop your English skill. English Academy will visit Chittagong University, I think, end of June for a workshop.
Yes.
CURHS actually regularly organizes this sort of workshop.
That's
How to email the professors, how to how to write a proper email. Actually, what should be the approach of English language? What sort of words you should use and what sort of words you should avoid. So then also how to complete an application, how to seek for scholarship or funding. So they are providing guidelines. So they have like at the moment they have 100,000, like 1 lakh
wow.
members, virtual members in Facebook page, and physical nearly 10,000 members they have.
Okay, sir, I wanted to ask you, like,
and they're going to organize TEDx for the first time in Chittagong University.
yeah, I heard recently.
And English Academy is a partner of that.
Yeah.
Babu,
One of the, I think the gold partner or something.
Yeah.
So let's come to English now, since it's about English Academy. Why should our younger generation today prioritize learning English? Because especially if they want to pursue a career in science and technology, why is English a very important and an essential language for science and technology?
It is essential. Everything is in English. So you have to understand English. You have to learn English to get the taste of great music, great literature, great movies, everything. Number two, এখন সব communication English. এখন সব communication digital. You have to email everyone. Email a language to English. And if you can't drop the email in proper English, you become funny.
Yeah.
গ্রামার যখন মিস্টেক থাকে অনেকে কিন্তু ইন্টারভিউতে আপনাকে কল করবে না। এখনো পর্যন্ত আমরা অতটুকু স্মার্ট হইনি যে অফিসগুলো ইন্টারভিউর জন্য ইমেল বাংলায় অ্যাকসেপ্ট করে। আমরা অতটুকু স্মার্ট এখনো হইনি। এখন যেখানেই যায় মানুষ, বিজনেস পারপাস হোক, যে পারপাস হোক, ইউ ডোন্ট নিড টু গো ওভারসিজ। বাংলাদেশে আমরা আমাদের ছেলেমেয়েরা যারা ইন্ডিপেন্ডেন্ট বিজনেস করে, স্টার্ট আপ, দে আর লুকিং ফর মানি। দে গো টু বিগ শর্টস, দে গো টু বিগ এন্টারপ্রেনার্স যে আমাদের টাকা দেন, বিজনেস করবো। হ্যাঁ, আপনি আমাদের পার্টনার থাকেন। You have to give a pitch, 5 minutes to 10 minutes or 15 minutes. Most of the corporate offices ask the pitch in English.
Yeah.
So no, if you're not fluent in English, you cannot present a good pitch. In that case, যেটা হয় যে ইংলিশ না জানলে আমি নিজেকে অনেক ক্ষেত্রে এক্সপ্রেস করতে পারি না। আর আরেকটা জিনিস হচ্ছে প্রচুর ফরেনারদেরকে এখন ডিল করতে হয় আমাদের লোকজনের। They don't know English.
Yeah,
They are not
very
going-
hard.
are going to hire. And the last thing, outsourcing. A lot of our students are now very expert in IT. They're doing a lot of outsourcing. I'd say a lot of people are doing online-based business, website designing, content writing. If you're not good in English, how do you attract customers from US or England or Australia? Because everything is in English.
Yeah.
So,
Sir, I want to ask you about what are some of the significant challenges that you have faced in your research project, especially the vaccine acceptance among the COVID-19 patients. There are a lot of COVID-19 patients were like, no, we don't want to get the vaccine. We're scared. We might have, long-term impact, or we might become. Some of them are saying they might become infertile also.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of
that's true.
false
Very
things everywhere.
As we do most of our research work involving human, it's very challenging. A lot of things happen when you don't have enough money. Still, in Bangladesh, we don't get enough funding from the funding sources. And the third problem was during COVID-19. We did a lot of project on COVID-19. One of our project was on acceptance of COVID vaccine among the mass population. So আমাদের ওই প্রজেক্টটা ছিল বেসিক্যালি ওই রিসার্চটা পাবলিশ হয়েছে ল্যান্সেট, দ্যাটস দ্য লিডিং জার্নাল অফ দ্য ওয়ার্ল্ড, দ্য মোস্ট ড্রিম জার্নাল অফ দ্য ওয়ার্ল্ড। সো ল্যান্সেটে উই শোড যে how much interest is actually remaining in Bangladesh regarding COVID vaccine. মানুষ কি পরিমাণে ইন্টারেস্ট আছে। সো আমরা যেটা পেলাম যে কোভিড ভ্যাকসিনের শুরুর দিকে মানুষ ভ্যাকসিন দিতে চায় না যে সেই এবং মানুষজনকে ইউএসএ তো কিন্তু সেম ছিল। বিভিন্ন অফিসে বলছে উইথ রিভিউ ইউএসডিসি if you come for vaccination.
Will give you what?
পেন ড্রাইভ।
আচ্ছা 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 আচ্ছা
হ্যাঁ, কারণ মানুষজন যেতে চাচ্ছে না ভ্যাকসিন।
আচ্ছা
অস্ট্রেলিয়াতে আরো মজা, ট্যাবও দিচ্ছিল কিছু কিছু স্টেট অস্ট্রেলিয়াতে। ফার্স্টে ওয়েস্টার্ন অস্ট্রেলিয়াতে অনেক জায়গায় ট্যাব দিয়ে অফার করছে যে প্লিজ গেট ভ্যাকসিনেটেড।
Will give you a
You'll get a tap from your office. সো ব্যাপারটা নট অনলি ইন বাংলাদেশ এটার অ্যাকসেপ্টেবিলিটি শুরুতে কম ছিল, সব জায়গায় কম ছিল। বাংলাদেশে যেটা হয়েছে যে অনেক রকমের রিউমার ছড়িয়ে গেছে। হ্যাঁ, লাইক কোভিড ভ্যাকসিন দিলে আবার হার্টের প্রবলেম হবে, ভ্যাকসিন দিলে ফার্টিলিটি কমে যেতে পারে, কোভিড ভ্যাকসিন দিলে মাথা ব্যথা, এই সেই অনেক রকমের। বাট ইন্টারেস্টিংলি উইদিন লাইক 2 to 3 months the whole scenario was opposite. People accepted it. There was a huge queue. আমরা প্রতিদিন টিভিতে দেখতাম, নিউজ পেপার করতাম, মানুষ গিয়ে ভ্যাকসিন পাচ্ছে না, ভ্যাকসিন লম্বা লাইন, বিকাল 5টা পর্যন্ত দাঁড়িয়েও ভ্যাকসিন না দিয়ে চলে আসছে। চিটং মেডিকেল কলেজে, চিটং জেনারেল হসপিটালে মানুষের চাপ, আবার অনেক ক্ষেত্রে এগুলো নিয়ে বিজনেস হচ্ছে, অনেকে ঘরে নিয়ে ভ্যাকসিন দিচ্ছে অনেক রকমের। এগুলো খুব আনফরচুনেট, কিন্তু এই যে লম্বা লাইন, what it proves, that means people want to get vaccinated. It's a very positive sign that people are rushing for vaccine. So that means our campaign was successful. Our government, in that case, our government was successful to make people understand that you have to get vaccinated. You have to get vaccinated. And when did it happen? Some of the articles were published after the Delta variant that people who get first shot of vaccine, they are less prone to being COVID patient next time. So they are not going to ICU, they are not getting serious. এই রিপোর্ট পাওয়ার পর থেকে মানুষের মধ্যে একটা বিশ্বাস জন্মলো যে ওয়াও, আমি যদি ভ্যাকসিন দিই, আই ডোন্ট নিড টু গো টু আইসিইউ, আমার আইসিইউ যেতে হবে না, আমি অন্তত মরবো না ভ্যাকসিন দিলে, আমার কোভিড হতে পারে বাট আমি সিরিয়াস হবো না। ফ্রম দ্যাট সেন্স পিপল স্টার্টেড গেটিং ভ্যাকসিন। অ্যান্ড অ্যানাদার থিং, বিদেশে যাওয়ার জন্য ভ্যাকসিন দিতে compulsory ছিল। Everyone has to get vaccinated. আরেকটা হচ্ছে প্রেগনেন্ট উইমেনরা খুব ভয় পাচ্ছিল যে ও মাই গড, আমার প্রেগনেন্সির সময় যদি আমার কোভিড সো তারা অনেক ভ্যাকসিন নিচ্ছিল। Moderna was suitable for the pregnant women.
Moderna. Okay, that's nice to know, sir. So, last question: what advice would you give to our young listeners who are very passionate about your field, biotechnology?
Um, the first thing is go for what you love. You should run for your passion. Whatever you love, just go for that. If you love engineering, go for engineering. If you love medicine, go for medicine. If you love business, go for entrepreneurship. If you love logic, try to be a lawyer. So whatever you love, just go for that and try to be the best. Try to prepare yourself perfectly, like 100% perfect, so that you never have that feeling that I didn't study properly and that's why I'm suffering. And the second thing is, this is the age of science and technology. This is now we are crossing a time where the whole world is ruled by science, technology, and STEM. So if you have that interest, if you are keen to know the secrets of science, you should study biotechnology or engineering or in any other field of science. Biotechnology is saving the lives, because of the application of biotechnology. We got the COVID vaccine because of the application of biotechnology. We saved a lot of people by RT-PCR test during COVID-19. Still in dengue, we are doing a lot of RT-PCR and we are identifying serotype of dengue, the DEN 1, DEN 2, DEN 3, DEN 4. So biotechnology is a life-saving science. Biotechnology is a sector of science where you can understand the reason of disease, the mystery of disease. You can understand the mystery of a lot of mechanism of plant, bacteria, human, or environment. And also, biotechnology is helping you to discover new species, new seaweed, new bacteria, we are having a new technology called DNA barcoding. By identifying the new DNA, we are gonna say, okay, this is a new bacteria, this is a new plant, which is very important and very interesting.
Yeah,
And
we have in Bangladesh right now, আমরা ভালো করে জানি যে এখন 12 মাসে টমেটো পাওয়া যায়।
right.
So that is the beauty of biotechnology.
And another thing is to know biotechnology, to understand biotechnology, you should try to be an expert in English because still practicing biotechnology in Bangla is a bit tough. Most of the books are in English, most of the talks are in English, most of the lectures are in English, and
The operation of the
everything is in English. So try to learn English, understand English, and try to be an expert in English so that you have more confidence and more the ability to do research to understand this thing. And one more thing, never ever think that English is your second language, and that's why you will face a lot of obstacles. English যাদের মাতৃভাষা না সেটা কোনো problem না. You don't need to be fluent in English like as in British or as a British or as an American. আপনার আমেরিকান অ্যাকসেন্ট বা ব্রিটিশ অ্যাকসেন্ট থাকতেই হবে এমন কোনো কথা নেই। আপনি আপনার অ্যাকসেন্ট দিয়ে কথা বলেন, বাট শুদ্ধ ইংরেজিতে কথা বলেন, শুদ্ধ
The right
ইংরেজি
pronunciation.
লেখেন। That's the best thing.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your beautiful insight. Something that even I myself didn't know and got inspired from you. Our future is very important for us. Our future generation will learn a lot of things from today, and they will seriously rethink about the importance of biology in their life and in their career. So whoever is HSC student, whoever is doing science, they will rethink. আমি ইঞ্জিনিয়ার না হয়ে এখন biotechnology করবো। Something like that. Thank you so much, sir, for inspiring us. It was great having you.
Thank you very much for inviting me, and also nice to know that people will get benefited. Thank you very much.
Thank you.